I started investing when I was 29 years old, and now looking back, I honestly think that was too soon. So if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're thinking about starting investing, or maybe you're already investing, then this video is for you. So let me take you back. The year is 2020, I'm 29 years old, I've got a stable income, I'm living here in London, and suddenly the world goes into lockdown. And you definitely know this tale, but everyone started feeling like they had a little bit of extra cash because we weren't traveling into work, we weren't buying lunches at work. And I thought, what can I do with this extra money that I feel like I've got now? So I started looking around, doing some research here on YouTube, and it seems that everyone started investing. It was a brilliant year to invest. It seems that if you put your money in, it would definitely shoot up, and it was the perfect thing to do. So I decided to open a stocks and shares ISA. I went online, I went onto Vanguard, and I opened my stocks and shares ISA in 2020. I think I started with just £50 a month. I automated the payments. I didn't have to do anything. I could just sit back and relax. And after a couple of months, I did feel that that £50 was really doable, and I decided to increase it. So I went from 50 to 100, then 150. And after about a year, I was kind of putting in £250, £300 a month. Still automated, still just not really paying attention to it. And that was doing really well for me. It was growing over time and it was doing really well. But then in 2022, I decided to change careers. I was a sales manager at the time, and I decided to change and become a chartered accountant. And to do that, here in London, the most common way is to join a grad scheme. So I'm in my 30s and I joined a grad scheme to become a chartered accountant and study the ACA. Now, in that moment, my salary went from here to here. I slashed it in half overnight, which was a real impact to my expenses. Now, that initial £250, £300 that I could easily put away and not think about became a real burden, and I had to stop investing overnight. So I want to share the 3 biggest lessons I learned, the things that I wish I'd known before diving into investing. Lesson 1, cash flow comes first. Always. When I started to invest, I knew that. Every single video here on YouTube says that you need to have some cash, easy access cash that you can use in an emergency. Build your emergency fund. But there wasn't too much information, or at least maybe I just didn't find it, on how much you really need. Because I had a couple of thousand in my savings account, I thought that would be fine. So fast forward to 2022, when I've joined this grad scheme and I'm training to become an accountant, suddenly I have to stop these payments. I can't be putting that amount of money into a stocks and shares ISA for the future anymore, because I need it right now. I needed to pay for rent, I needed to pay for groceries, and I was just feeling the pressure of having that new amount come into my account every single month. So all out payments stopped. But at the same time, I just felt really guilty. I felt like I had failed at being smart with my money, and that you should invest little and often throughout your life to build up a really good amount. And I was having to stop only after 2 years. The truth is, I wasn't financially ready to start investing. According to the Money Helper website, you should have between 3 to 6 months of essential expenses saved up in an account that you can easily access. That's going to cover transport, rent, bills, food, all of the essentials. And the reason is simple. Investing is for the long term. You really don't want to have to be pulling out money from the stock market just because you need to use it elsewhere. Once it's in, it should be in for long term. You have to build that financial safety net first. So what I should have done is build up more of an intentional amount in my savings account before opening an ISA. The second lesson is that life plans just change, and you can't predict everything in the future. Life is really not linear. You can't decide what's going to happen 2 years down the line, 2 months down the line, and everything might impact your finances. And at that point, all that it meant was that my investing plan of just being able to put some money away every single month had gone out the window. That's all. Plans should evolve as you evolve. My life goals had completely changed within that year, and I just needed to tailor my finances to be able to support that. I wasn't failing at something else, I was just making a choice to go a different direction. And life is really unpredictable, whether that be the cost of living, your job, housing, whether you want to move country. Things are going to happen where you have to be able to fund them, right? That just means you've got to be flexible with your finances, and it did ultimately mean that I had to stop investing in my stocks and shares ISA. And the third lesson is that sometimes saving is better than investing. Now I know I'm going to lose all of the finance bros just by saying that sentence, But today, for me, saving works much better and is more aligned to my income than investing. I've got the majority of my money sat within a savings account that's attached to my Monzo card. It's got a 3.75% interest rate, and I see the interest get added every single month. I know exactly how much is going to be added, and I'm just growing it slowly over time. It's easy access. It means I can pull money out if there's an emergency or if I need it to supplement my income. I do also have my Vanguard Stocks and Shares ISA open. I'm not adding anything to it at the moment, but it does still have the money that I'd added previously, and that's just growing over time. Although it is quite frustrating that sometimes I can see the fees coming out every single month, and they didn't used to charge fees, but now they do. And what that means is that on some months, I'll make more money from my savings account than I will from my investing ISA. So I can directly compare the two. There's also all the other benefits to having a savings account, like I feel much more secure. I can access the money really easily. It's just a day to land in my account. If there was any sort of issue, I don't feel guilty for taking money out of my savings account. I can still automate money going in there every single month, and it's slowly just growing over time. And here in the UK, so many finance experts do say that it's way better to have and build savings when you're in that period of uncertainty, or if you've got big changes at the moment. Making savings should be a priority. Investing is great, don't get me wrong, and I would love to return to it at some point in the future once everything has calmed down. But if you're juggling rent, other bills, studying for exams, and also budgeting for a much lower income than you're used to, building your savings is a really great alternative. And those are the 3 lessons that I learned. Now, don't get me wrong, I still do love investing. I love what it taught me. I did so much research when I first started investing and opened my Stocks and Shares ISA. I can see the potential, and I would love to get back to the point where I can add money into my Stocks and Shares ISA and also my savings account at the same time. But just at the moment, that's not something I can do. And I just wish that when I'd started my grad scheme and my salary got halved and I had to stop investing, I just remembered that personal finance is exactly that. It's completely personal. What I'm doing compared to what someone else is doing really doesn't matter. If it works for me, then it works. So if you're not investing yet, don't panic. Try to build that savings account first. Take your time with it. There's no rush. And if you are investing and maybe you're thinking, I can't do this for a couple of months, or I really need to rein it in over the summer, maybe when you've got plans and you've got other expenses, don't feel guilty for stopping for a few months. It's absolutely fine to stop and start when suits your lifestyle. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you soon. Thanks, bye.